we've come up with 5 different ways to get onboarded quickly. There's the Airstudio covers so many different pieces of the business operation. It's really hard to jump on all of them at once. We have had some people do it. Uh, it's a big commitment I have all the respect for that path, but we also feel like a more layered approach can work. So we've divided it into the 5 chunks: staff scheduling, which is basically kind of what you saw up there. Um, Take about a week or two, depending on how much time you put into it. We provide lots of backup all the way along. Importing your organizations, we can import your current schedules from Google if you're on Google, import all your employees, all that stuff. Workflow and tasks, workflow management is another. That's a little bit longer. That's managing all of your workflow, basically from the CRM side of prospecting all the way through delivering that yearbook CD at the end, and the composites way after that, depending on how fast they do the composites. Advanced scheduling is letting clients, this client scheduling piece and marketing for those clients. School portal and e-signing is the whole compliant or secure way for schools to give you data and for you to deliver pictures to them. Included in that is e-signing of contracts and the whole CRM piece to monitor where everybody is and what you're doing for each customer. And then equipment management. So if we take any one of those, that's kind of a little breakdown of how long it would take to get on. And if you get onto one, then it's much easier. The next one is easier to layer on top. Does that sort of cover it in a nutshell quickly?
Yeah. I think a couple of things to point out too, depending on what your key element is, we are quite happy to do any of these pathways in any sequence. As well, we do have clients out there that are only using some components of it. And you'll even see in the pricing if you're someone that's just using event scheduling versus advanced scheduling, there can be cost differences too. So some companies have liked to come on and do one or two modules first and then expand as they go in. Secondly to that, we are working through a different communication path so that you can always see and have a reference for where you're at in the onboarding process, what your status is, how much time is left, and what are the roles and responsibilities that are ours versus yours. Because there does have to be joint work attached to it. We try and make it as quick and easy as we can, and that way we can really make some of the things that might feel overwhelming because a studio operating system like this has a lot of data that has to come in, make it as clean as possible.
Yeah, I
And
mean, I think we have some companies just doing equipment. We have companies just doing school portal. We have some all in on everything. But the bigger the operation, it seems like the more you want to take a piece of it and get that one going. And
yep.
that's a way to get everybody in, comfortable with the platform, using the phone app. Um, so that's
Exactly. And Brad had a question regarding is there a list of what can be onboarded using database import export? We can go through that. Most things can be done that way, Brad, and everybody that's listening. Some of them have interfaces within the system for you to do your own imports. Other ones, we can do imports in the background. So we had a large company that did all equipment. And although there's not an interface to import the equipment on your own, we can import the equipment. Same thing with all the others. There is mechanisms for importing your organizations, but sometimes if you wanted to integrate some of the custom fields that we can offer you or that you can create, we might be able to do it better from an engineering side than using the wizard. But pretty much
yeah. I
everything
mean,
there can be
yeah,
imported.
right. We feel like it's a good idea for us to be involved on the first one because as Peter was saying, even setting up custom fields, everybody's got different things that they track on all their accounts. And we want to be involved in getting those all set up and thought through ahead of time and then taking your data and pulling it all in and matching all those fields that first import, especially if you're doing, hundreds of organizations. It's just nice for us to help configure it. We was just involved with one and she had one set of custom fields And then that these also get incorporated in their contracts and e-signing. And then we got them all in, and she said, well, wait a minute, I think I want something else for my middle schools and my elementaries. And so we actually deleted everything and started again.
Yeah,
And that's why we really want to be involved, just to help
exactly.
make sure long term it's exactly what you need. And in terms of what can we can do all your employees, equipment is can be done, organizations and school accounts are all done in contacts. Um, Schedules at this point we import from Google Calendar, from a Google Calendar export. You export from Google Calendar and we can pull it in. Uh,
And there's always stuff after, especially with schedules, where depending on the data that, or depending on what you want to have in Airstudio, there'll be work to add in the things that make it really powerful, the different scheduling types or the job types. Obviously, you'll still have to add your own employees, but we're going to help you as much as possible to make it smooth and seamless because we want you in there working on it.